16 actually of What If I Was a Naruto Remastered. Let's get started. So we left off with the What If of after a thrilling arc of going to the reverse world, moving on to a different arc that I'm making. It's not really an arc. One day something happened. One day Christian remembered something that he didn't want to remember. The day of the attack. Not the attack of the Leaf Village, because that never happened, but the attack of the Konoha 12. Now, if you don't know what this is, it's like some kind of fan-made thing where Naruto is actually really hated in most like with Sasuke, Kiba, Shino, Shikamaru Choji. Yeah, all of them were like, they raided Naruto's house. That's basically what Konoha 12 is. Cartoon remembers a random moment of the Konoha 12. He hears a knock at the door. Then when he opens it, he gets a punch sent at his face, but then he catches it and he's like, "What do you guys want?" They're all of them say, "We hate ya, so we're not gonna let you talk." Christian would say, "I really don't want to do this. I don't feel like hurting anyone, so just back off." So he slammed the door on Kiva's face, knocking him back down, saying, "Idiot." Then, out of nowhere, they'd bust down the door, trying to go for an attack. Christian would say, "Never want to do this again, but if it's to protect myself, I guess it is. Ultimagon." Hold on a minute. Okay, good, it's working. So he'd say Ultimagon, and immediately would slam Kiba on the ground and say, "Da-na-na." Then turn to Sasuke saying, "Die." Shooting a giant fireball at him, knocking him out of the house and saying, "Get out, you useless weaklings." Then he'd say, "Lightning blade." He'd pull out his sword and put lightning element into it, slashing through all of them. Now Sasuke, so the people who were watching them was Ino and Sakura, and well, to extension, Hinata maybe. Naruto was just, well, Naruto. They weren't raiding his house, because they didn't hate him that much, because, well, Naruto, they know. So, basically, Sakura and Ino would be cheering them on, trying to hype them up to defeat this one kid that they hate the most. Christian's like, "Why do you guys hate me so much? Like, what did I do?" He's like, "You've always been so cocky about yourself." Christian says, "When? Play a flashback on every single time I've been good. And when did I ever go like that?" So they didn't, and they're like, "Well, we hate you." And says, "Well, I hate you too." And blitzes over the lightning lane, cutting through all of them, then kicking them out of his house, saying, "Get out, you useless weaklings." Saying, "Oh, terrible times. Whatever, I guess I'll go train." Like 4 to 5 years would pass, and yeah, the last would come. One day, oh yeah, just saying, Christian wouldn't actually stay. After the Manma mission thingy, they'd leave. He'd leave the village as long as Sasuke would. They'd go their separate ways. Christian wanting to master every single jutsu in the universe, saying, "Alright, whatever. I'm gonna go have my own time." One day, Christian would try and summon the 11 Tails and seal it inside of him and try and control its power. He'd bite his finger and create it, going, "Hah!" Now the 11 Tails would go rampage. He'd say, "Alright, looks like I gotta stop it." He'd seal it in, saying, "Tetragram seal!" Sealing it right in, saying, "That's it. You You little wolf, you stupid wolf. Then seals him in. And then says, I have to show this thing that I am not some pushover. He says, hey, wolf. He's like, what do you want? Sorry if my nose is stuffy. I am not sick, it's just like my nose is runny. So basically, this would be a really thing. So once the wolf tries to break through, Christian says, gracious deity gates. Slamming them onto the 11 tail, saying, damn it, there's still not enough gates. Dang it, why is there not enough gates? Come on, I thought this jutsu was supposed to be designed to make there enough gates. Not enough. Screw this. So then he just says chakra rod and pierces it through the 11th tail. The fox is like, ugh! Saying, and after about, this is when Christian was 17, just like Naruto. After 4 years, he's mastered its power and become best friends with it, creating 11 tails chakra mode. But one day, while Christian is just hanging out, ready to come back to the Leaf Village, he meets Toneri Otsutsuki. I'm pretty sure his name is Toneri Otsutsuki. We meet Toneri. He's like, what do you want? You're interrupting my training. He's like, I don't care if I'm not interrupting it. I'm here for one purpose only. And one purpose needed. Christian says, what do you want? He says, I want the 11 tails. Now! And I would like the Byakugan. Christian would say, no, no, and no. If you want them, you're gonna have to try and get them. And you're not getting them unless you go through me. I am one of the strongest shinobi in the Leaf Village. I'd like to see you contend with me. Activating his chakra mode immediately, saying, die! Creating a chakra run, slamming it into Toneri's face, saying, dee dee dee. And then fighting Toneri to a standoff, saying, well, you're pretty good, but this is boring. Maybe I should crank it up. Ah! 6 pass Sage mode! Now Christian hasn't even activated the Ultimagon yet. Like, this is just boring. He's like, come on, aren't you an Otsutsuki? Aren't you supposed to be stronger? So basically, they're all like, he says, you're an Otsutsuki, aren't you supposed to be way stronger? They go, yeah. He says, this is not even close to my full power. If you just give me the Byakugan, you'll see it. Christian says, sorry, not that dumb. And if I was that dumb, I'd be not even happy to live if I was that dumb. Christian would appear right behind him with a chakra, with a true-seeking sword in the back of Toneri's head, slicing him. But then Toneri would survive and dip. Like, Toneri would legit dip. To be like, frick this crap, I'm out. Doop. So once he would dip, everyone else would be like, Christian would head right back to the village and tell Kakashi everything that just happened. Saying, yo, Kakashi, someone and somebody once told me the world is gonna run. I'm kidding. So basically, he tells Kakashi, yo, there's some strong Otsutsuki out there. Being like, yeah. And guys, since it's really late at night,